foremost, this game is not Ark Raiders. If we look at how Ark Raiders describes itself, it is a multiplayer extraction adventure where you scavenge the surface, beware of the machines, and beware of raiders preying on others. Now, if we look at Marathon's page, we see that Marathon is a PvPvE survival extraction, where you infil into the dark sci-fi world where tense exploration breaks into fast-paced PvP combat, and you exfil to assemble stronger builds. Now, those may sound similar, but they are different games with different focuses, so I will not be directly comparing these two in this review. Okay guys, humble brag. I have a job and things to do, so I was only able to play for about 8 hours, and it was solo the whole time. Meaning, this review is for those of us who can play for maybe 1 or 2 hours a night and need to choose what to play wisely. So let's cut the chatter and get down to it. Marathon, created by Bungie, is releasing this March 5th unless they delay it due to feedback from the server slam, but I doubt it. How do I think this game is going to land? Well, I think it will be Bungie's worst performing release date title since, as far as I care, Bungie became relevant in 2001 with the release of Halo Combat Evolved. But that's not to say the game is terrible. If anything, it means that Bungie has not missed. So they must be cooking, I hope. But first, let's look back and see if they deserve that amount of faith. Bungie's previous 7 consecutive releases, excluding one iOS game, was Halo Combat Evolved in 2001, Halo 2 in 2004, Halo 3 in 2007, Halo 3 ODST in 2009, then Halo Reach in 2010, before they switched over to Destiny in 2014 and Destiny in 2017. Now, I don't know how old you are, but this is a list of massively, instantly successful games. To be sure, Destiny 2 has fallen. However, when it came out, it was very successful. Do I think Marathon released to the hype and fervor of Destiny in 2014? No, not at all, of course not. For that, and all these other games, people were practically foaming at the mouth for the release. And what is the biggest common factor? All of these games have an identity. They know what they are, they know what they are supposed to be, and they do it. Which begs the question, what is Marathon supposed to be? As I said earlier, Marathon is a PvPvE survival extraction, where you infil into the dark sci-fi world, where tense exploration breaks into fast-paced PvP combat, and you exfil to assemble stronger builds. So now let's look at how aspects of Marathon match their own description. The gunplay. The gunplay is an amazing mixture of Halo and Destiny. The guns feel good, Bungie has done it. Gunplay is amazing, but damn, some of the guns have huge recoil patterns, which is fine. Gunplay is probably hands down the single best aspect of Marathon. If this gunplay was Destiny 2's PvP mode, I would still be playing Destiny. As for movement, the heating system took some time to get used to. The stamina bar felt like it overheated far too quickly, and why does my melee attack use stamina? However, quicker stamina regen and slower stamina usage in water or rainy environments is amazing environmental interaction. However, if we consider the quick overheating bar in context of how Marathon describes itself, it says they want us infiltrating a planet. So, if we're infiltrating the planet, we're not going to be sprinting everywhere all the time. It makes sense to me. I'll give movement a pass. The sound design is immaculate. That's why I said the gunplay is maybe the single best aspect. The gunplay and the sounds are amazing. The background music is unique, it gives character, but if anything, it's a little bit too spooked and suspenseful for the PvP focused aspect. But if you're infiltrating as if you're Ezio from Assassin's Creed and you don't want to be caught, it is amazing. With the common sounds of heavy rain and background noises, and the extremely loud footsteps and even louder gunshots, I found myself slowly walking around and listening for a gunshot to find a player in third party, or simply staying quiet and being immersed and drawn into the world, sneaking around the AIs, treating it like a stealth game. I say the sounds are amazing. Now, key card doors. Not once in 8 hours of playing was I able to get into the locked rooms find one of the key cards or even see anyone in their rooms or even see a room open. But I did not watch any streamers play, so maybe it's possible, but I hope it was just turned off for the server slam. I watched the Burnt Peanut play with the devs before the slam occurred, and it really sounded like the dev team expected every round to be a race to the building, fight the other teams that showed up, take their loot, locate the key card, and claim the rare materials or whatever improvement was in that room and get out. However, even with the devs helping and the lobbies not shooting and everyone helping at the end, I don't think they ever actually got into one of those locked rooms. So, if these rooms are the focus of the gameplay loop, why are they impossible to get into? If they're not the focus of the gameplay loop, why are they in the middle of every point of interest and impossible to get around? Again, hopefully they just were not active for the server slam, because right now, they're failing. The extractions are unique and I do not like them. I do not like how extraction points are one-time use and how it's unclear what stage of being usable it is in. The extraction blurs your vision, but you can still get shot, and suddenly you can't get shot anymore. I never figured out when that switch occurs, if there's a tell, or how that works. Most games, I'd get 2 kills and then try to extract, but I'd get to an extraction point and watch a player get beamed into the sky and then need to book it to the other side of the map in order to attempt to extract again, only for someone else to be extracting, then requiring me to basically sit there silently doing nothing, waiting for a new extraction point to spawn. My inventory was full, I had no more grenades, and I was low on ammo. With disdain, I give extractions a pass and a technicality because Marathon describes itself as a survivor extraction. But that brings up a second point. What are we supposed to extract with and why? There's no crafting system, there's no notable loot that makes you feel, oh, if I manage to extract with this, I can craft a legendary gun, I have to leave now and stay instead of stay and fight. Everything's just purchased, so you grab random stuff to sell for pennies to level up different factions, to buy different stuff from different vendors who all have different friendship meters to handle, but to what end? Access to buy the same gun a free kit will give you? I just don't fully get it. The PvE as a solo player was terrible. Enemies see you instantly from crazy distances and angles. If there was one light enemy, great, no problem. If there was 2 or 3 light enemies, it would always require a shield and health recharge. If I ran into the shield guys, all I wanted to do was color match, break the shield, and kill it. But that is Destiny, not this game, even though it feels like it should be. But all I could do was run away or use up too much of my gear and leave myself vulnerable for the players that were now charging me. Because again, holy crap, does bullet sounds travel far. Like really, really far. So even though you can beat the AI fairly easily, it's too dangerous because other players will hear you and come sprinting, knowing that the AI at the very least broke your shield and has not fully replenished the ammo you spent. However, if you're supposed to be infiltrating, it makes me think you're supposed to avoid PvE fights when possible, so I give it a solid pass. But that is how Marathon describes itself. How are people supposed to mentally think of Marathon? When we get down there and we're playing Marathon, there is looting, there is shooting and extractions, but they all seem to be bare bones. If it's a looter, why is there nothing notable or fun to loot? And why is there nothing to do with the loot? There is no big machines to kill to get unique loot from. There are no dead big machines scattered around in the environment to loot and get extra XP. It's just generic crap that is boring and does nothing. But if it's a shooter, why are we looting? Why are we fighting over a locked door that no one can find a key for? Why is there no auto heal for everyone except for one, which is locked for everyone other than solos? Why have the AI be strong enough to get in the way? Why such limited ammo without taking up all of your inventory space? Then if it's an extraction shooter, okay, what are we extracting with? Random chitin and moss and credits we found? Everything is sold for money, so it does not matter what we grab, so long as the inventory is filled with junk. What was the point of grabbing anything specific than extracting? And why are all the extraction points disappearing, changing, or not even always present at times? So now, if we ignore what Marathon says it is, I played 8 hours over 2 days, which for me is a lot because again, I have things to do. So this is what I want to see from Marathon. With the full release, I want to see some game identity. I want to see it choose if it's a shooter-based or extraction-based game, because there's no way it's a looter-based game. I want to know the lore. Why do we care about this? What is the Cryo Archive, which they described as raid-like? Can you do this raid like solo, or you have to find randoms or find 3 friends to tackle the raid? What is the game flow? Can they give a reason for there to be PvPvE? If it's a shooter focused, which seems to be the case, I want them to commit. I want them to add a player counter. I want them to make it known there are X number of players, they are killing each other, and they are getting stronger. Pick up the pace. Make it have a flow. If you drop into the free kit, make it so that if you kill a certain AI, you get certain things. For example, the shield guy. If you kill him, you can repurpose his shield to give you a shield upgrade. And the next upgrade would require 2 parts. So on and so forth. I want the enemies, the AI enemies, to drop lots of ammo because it is always net negative fighting them. Then, when you fight other teams with a locked door at the center to upgrade and then do your inventory management, then you open the locked door. I want you to either be able to teleport to a PvE boss fight to fight for legendary loot, or return home, sell for cash, and get back into the PvP. Again, Marathon is not a looting based game, but if you're not in a named part of the map, there is nothing. I do want the world to be more interactive. Have more quirks, like if you're in a puddle, you can run without your heat meter increasing as quickly. If you're in the rain, it cools you down. Add more stuff like that, but just not an empty, barren land. If it's extraction based, then the extractions have to be understandable and consistent. They cannot vanish and have no extraction options. If you're telling the player the whole goal is to extract, but then don't give them a place to extract, you have failed the single most important aspect of your extraction game, which is the ability to extract. What do I recommend? It sounds like I hate this game. I don't hate this game. I think it is not what anyone expected it to be, but I want to see a clarified identity. Whatever the internal vision for Marathon is, I want it to be more clear for us players. The gunplay and atmosphere and music is great. It's amazing. But it seems the desired focus is PvP. So I want that to be more central. It feels like they're wanting players to treat the game like it's Apex Legends. But players cannot do that because the free kits suck and there's no reliable, reproducible way to go from a free kit to competitive in the same round that you spawn with the free kit. For example, my idea of killing the shield guys and getting an improvement to your own shield. Or at the very least, I did not find one in the 8 hours I played, which is still not good. Or internally, if they want it to be PvP focused extractions and it is based off players' inventories, then players have to know the fights they get into are possible to win without divine intervention from Lady Luck. This can be achieved by advertising that in the background matchmaking decisions affect your lobby. For example, gear value based matchmaking. That means whenever you make a loadout, it reads your gear value and it will match you with people of similar gear values. So if you take a free kit, you'll be matched with other free kits or low gear values. This will let players know that PvP is possible, and it's unlikely the first player that you see will have double your health, infinite mets, and instantly vaporize you, which is soul destroying. Then you need set extraction points that are stable. They are not one-time use and then disappear, leaving you stranded, because the single worst feeling in an extraction game is not being able to extract. At this point, without a massive delay, the core aspects of Marathon cannot be changed, even though personally I think that would drastically help the game. So keeping the concepts seen and adding my previously mentioned improvements, a great game flow that I can see would be this. You make your loadout. There is gear value based matchmaking. When you drop with the free kit, this is when you scavenge for quest materials and kill specific AIs for specific upgrades. Then you fight the other free kits to find guns you like, scavenge some attachments, and extract. Then you go into a richer lobby that is more PvP centric to get the best gear and move up to the final boss, which is the Cryo Archive, where you bring only the best of the best gear, and at any point you lose your full setup, you know your next run will be with people of similar gear, no matter how much or little gear you bring. Overall, if I have one other friend that buys it and wants to play, I will buy it and I will play. If it's only solo, I don't know.